months now, so let's talk about it. So I've bought Mavic 2 Pro since the day it came out, and I've been flying it almost every day, and I kind of already got used to it. It's way better than Mavic 1, obviously. Today I want to talk about some things that I like about it and some things that I don't. So I want to point out the things that DJI didn't mention during their presentation, or it's not on their website. So I will start with good things. First of all, this drone has for sure improved flight time. I have never been able to fly for so long, and I only have one battery. I haven't bought the second one. It's just so expensive. It gives me good like 5-10 extra minutes compared to Mavic 1 that I had, maybe just because I already had it used and the battery life went down, but this thing is brand new, battery life improved. I love that. I might just get one extra battery for this for every time I travel instead of the 2 batteries that I usually would have for the Mavic 1. So I can think of it as a saving, and plus you save money and space in your backpack. That's cool. Another thing that I really like about it, it's faster, and what I see during the flight time, it flies more smooth. I don't see any shakiness left or right. Before I would see the horizon line sometimes go a little bit to the side, which would, I just hate that. I don't know, Mavic had it, Phantom 3 had it. So far was Mavic 2 Pro. I didn't see it. The flight is super smooth. The horizon line is always straight. I love that. That's another thing that I liked about it is adjustable aperture. That's super cool that I can control the aperture from 2.8 to f11. And that doesn't mean that I can blur out the background and keep the foreground in focus and have a bokeh and whatever. That just means I can allow more light to the sensor, so I can have better exposed images at night and less noise, which is a good plus for sure that Mavic 1 didn't have it. Another good thing about this drone is dynamic range is fantastic compared to Mavic 1 for sure. You can see more details in highlights and shadows, and you can have things properly exposed during the times when the light is bad. Sometimes with Mavic 1 I would have really good details of the foreground, let's say the buildings, but the sunset would just look white or opposite, and I hated that. Another thing that I like about this drone is the gimbal design. This thing looks much more sturdy. It doesn't look like I'm just gonna break it. You know what I mean by that? Like Mavic 1 had this crazy design that I just felt like, come on. Mavic 1 just had this crazy design of the gimbal when every time I would take it out I feel like I would break it. But this gimbal and the camera itself looks much more sturdy. Like I'm not afraid that I'm gonna break it. That's a big plus for sure. And another point that I would like to mention that I like about this drone is it has better connectivity. This drone, I flew 3 miles in the city, no problem. Signal always stable. I was sitting in the car, I had the drone in air, perfect. Now let's talk about some things that DJI kind of hide and didn't mention, and I didn't like that. First of all, Mavic 1 had this super cool feature for people who use Instagram. You could flip the camera. Since the camera design on Mavic 1 is circle, you could flip it and you can take horizontal video or pictures. And on Mavic 2 you can't, because it's a big square, and if you try to even flip it, if you think about flipping it, it's not going to flip because there's not enough space for the camera to flip. So that sucks. You can only take horizontal pictures. Another thing that I didn't like, and I mean it didn't affect me and it doesn't even have to do anything with the performance with the drone, but come on, DJI just raised the price $50 more quietly. I don't know why, what, if it's politics or whatever, but when the drone came out, it was $14.49 clearly. All of a sudden, a couple weeks later, the price is $14.99 now. Magically. Now the Mavic 2 Zoom, the price stayed the same, but they also raised the prices on some of the accessories. So the fly mode combo is now more, the batteries are now more, like $20 more for battery. And that just didn't make sense to me. It's kind of like they felt that the demand is big, they sold many, and they were like, oh okay, let's raise the price. I guess that's how it works. Another thing, since I'm holding it here, I do not like the design of this. I don't know how you're supposed to do it, but every time I do it, I have struggle. So let me turn it off. Drone is off. So the way you have to put it on, there's like these 2 pieces here of plastic, and you kind of have to slide it. And I'm already got used to it, so I'm kind of fast at this, but before this would be a real struggle. Then that goes there, and then it's supposed to go like that. But one time I had some pressure on the drone, and I guess it pushed the bottom of this, and the cover went almost under the camera, and I was kind of afraid it's gonna break it, but thanks God it was okay. But I just don't like the design of this thing, but I mean, it's not a big deal. I can deal with it. Now, another thing, and that's probably the biggest, in any other mode than normal, it has this warp effect. It's like a distortion. So the horizon is kind of like a GoPro effect, and you have to correct this. I mean, I can show you how to do it. It's really easy. As you can see in this footage, the horizon is curved. All you have to do is throw the video in the Premiere Pro, add this effect, and adjust the curvature here to -10, -12, -13. It depends how close you were to the object and how much you have to fix it. You'll be able to tell once you throw it in the program, and you'll be able to know how much of a correction you need. I mean, it's not bad. It looks good in a normal profile, but I hope DJI will fix this with their next software update, I suppose, because that kind of doesn't make sense. Like, you have 1-inch sensor, everything looks good, exposed, high dynamic range, but then you have this curved horizon which looks like you're using fisheye lens. I mean, that makes no sense to me. Well, that's about it. That's all I had to share with you today, guys. That is my feedback on Mavic 2 Pro after having it for 1 month. It still looks like brand new. I love it, no complaints, but there's just some opinion that I had after using it. Hope it helps to anybody who's buying one. I would definitely recommend this drone over Zoom drone, because the zoom effect, they advertise it so much. You can do this so easily. I can show you right here. I did a tutorial. It's literally a 5-minute job and you can get the same effect. So there is no point to get Mavic 2 Zoom. I mean, really, add just $200 more and you get this big, huge 1-inch sensor, and hopefully they'll fix that curved horizon. For those of you who was wondering where I'm at, that's true, I'm at the railroad tracks. Let's get out of here. Oh, I forget to say bye. Peace.